Om Shri Saram. I pray that may this be Swami's words through me, may he speak through me, may he listen through all of you. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for this wonderful introduction. And I just feel a little bit older here with all this beautiful youth around. I'd like to take you back. Swami had called my parents and myself for an interview, and during the course of the interview, suddenly he asked me this billion-dollar question: what do you want? And I was like, God is asking me, what do I want? Like, I can get anything. I was so excited. One part of my head, one of those H's, was telling me, don't ask for stupid things, mate. Be careful. Because before, what happened was, I think I was 24, 25 around that time. And I was having a receding hairline. And that was the biggest problem in my life. Okay, I'm not going to get married, no one's going to look at me, and like, what's going to happen? And as parents, my father and mother, that was the biggest problem in life. Okay, how do we see to it that he gets some, and we didn't have that great, the technology what we have now, so almost 20 years ago, right? And so the only thing was, okay, apply some oils, and I tried everything in the world and nothing worked, and the only thing was Swami and prayer. Okay, imagine how mundane we can go with Bhagwan. And we were, at one occasion, we were there with Swami, and a similar conversation happened with my parents. And I won't tell who that parent is. No, I'm not my father or mother, because it's been recorded. They will see it. And out of the love and attachment like every parent has for the child, Swami was seated, and my father said, Swami, give him some hair. I looked at my parent. How can you ask such a question, like, in my head? Right? And Swami is so compassionate, so loving, put his hand on my head. And that's what happened. Everything went away. Okay, the hair went away, but I hope some buddhi has gone in. Okay, and that is what I want to come and share with all of you. But as that happened, and if I go back, he asked me, what do you want? And I said, Swami, I want to be near you. That was because his presence is so charming, like Lord Krishna. You all heard about Lord Krishna and the gopikas. It's like you want to be around him, you want to touch him, you want to hold him, you want to be constantly in his presence. That is the charm that you have. Like when you fall in love for the first time, right? Like you want to be around the boy or the girl all the time, because it's so exciting. It's like meeting of hearts, but that sort of dies down after a while. But for Swami, right? My age people, everyone will understand. Okay? But for Swami, it's like, I want to be there all the time. I've been there 30 years with Swami, but I want to still sit in first row. I still want him to touch me. I don't care about the others, my connection. All the time, I want to be with Swami. And that is why this question comes, Swami, I want to be with you. I want to be near you. And Swami looks at me and said, oh, you're already near me. And I was this close. And I was sort of working with Bhagwan, this close. And Swami said, you're already near me. And then I said, Swami, I want to be dear to you. Yes, I want to be near and dear to you. And then Swami said, that is different. And Swami said, you are like frogs on a lotus. You don't realize my value. People from America, Australia, and other parts of the world, he mentioned Australia, they are the real bees and the dear ones who come to me. And they enjoy me and take me back. You are just lucky people and you're just having a good time here. And that was a great message. And who knew 20 years from then I would come and live in Australia and try to share Swami's stories with the dear ones of Bhagwan, right? So it doesn't matter. It's a great privilege to have been there physically with him, but for Swami, the physical presence was not the only thing. For him, it was what you took home with him and what you have, that oneness and the closeness in your heart. That is what dearness meant to him. So how do we get dear to Bhagwan? And I think along this 48 hours, one of our formulas which we will get is how to be dear to Swami and experience that oneness. I'm also reminded of a story which Swami used to tell us, that Krishna had a friend and always a companion called Uddhava. If you have heard about him, he used to always accompany Krishna, and Krishna had been away from Vrindavan for many years. Since his childhood he had left it, and the gopikas over there loved Krishna, and that separation and pangs of separation, they used to constantly remember Krishna and cry out of him, out of separation. Every moment Krishna was in their thoughts. And Swami used to really love the gopikas' devotion, and he used to tell us, be like the gopikas and the devotion they have. And Krishna suddenly says to Uddhava, go to Vrindavan and go and tell the gopikas, tell them about Advaita, tell them about Krishna is not separate from them, give them teachings about what you have learned in my presence. Tell them that Krishna is in their hearts and they should not look outside or cry for the physical form. And Uddhava said, yes, I'll go there. And he was very excited. He prepared a speech and said, I'm going to do this, like how I prepared a speech, and said, I'm going to come and speak to this ignorant people, and they are illiterate, and they should be really being given something. Not that you are much more learned than me. And he was very excited. His chariot comes to Vrindavan and he sits and he's there, and all the gopikas, the women, surround him, and he says, okay, and I'm going to speak about Advaita, and he starts, see, Krishna is not different from you. You and Krishna are one. And he goes on, and all the gopikas start yawning, and suddenly one of the gopikas raised their hand and said, can you please shut up? And this guy says, what? He said, I'm just talking what Krishna has really asked me to say. And he said, we don't want to hear your lectures. Just tell us about Krishna. Tell us what he's doing. Tell us how he was. Tell us some experiences what you had. Tell us what he used to eat. Tell us how he used to interact. Tell us his jokes. Tell us his life. Tell us about Krishna. We don't want anything else. And I find myself in that situation. Not that I'm Uddhava. I find myself in that situation. And people want to hear stories and say, come on, stop giving your knowledge. Information is there everywhere nowadays. Go into Google, you get every Satyasai speech, you get everything in the world. But tell us about those experiences which you had with Swami, how he was, how did he interact, what was he like? What was he like? And I pray to Swami that over the next 48 hours, I'm able to share some of those experiences with you. Who has heard the story about the 5 frogs on the log? Okay, there are 5 frogs who are sitting on a log and there's water below, and 4 of them decide to jump. So how many is left on the log? 1. Anyone else? 1. Okay, I tricked you. The 4 of them decide to jump, but they didn't jump. Okay, they decide to jump. They are all 5. They are still there. So what is going to happen in this retreat is for Swami, it was never about deciding. There are going to be sessions where you will be involved in, you may agree or you may not agree to it. Okay? Everyone has their own path to Swami. But what I would like every one of us, including me, is to, you will get some insights while I'm speaking, while someone else is presenting, while we had this group song. Just write those insights down and try to immediately put it to practice, and not decide that, okay, and I'm going to go back Monday onwards, I'm going to put it into practice, because that will never happen. Because I remember once I was with Bhagwan, and like with Swami, and suddenly we had to do some distribution of fruits, and I put some vessels back, and I was returning back to his room, and suddenly I was face to face with Swami for the first time, alone, and no one else. It was in a small passage, and then Swami looked at me and said, "Hey, how are you?" I said, "Swami, I'm fine, Swami, by your grace." And he said, "Are you, you were talking that day a lot." And Swami, through his omnipresence, he said, "There, with that boy, in that position, at that location. I never told Swami anything, no one told Swami, and you were talking there. Why were you talking with that boy then? You're talking too much." I think I was 17, 18. And he said, I said, "Swami, I'm sorry, Swami. Stop talking, okay? Keep quiet, keep silent. As a student, as a youngster, keep your mind quiet, okay? If you're silent, then you will get energy, and then you get the energy for right purposes." I said, "Swami, thank you, Swami, I will try." And Swami got so furious. Swami said, "What, try? No, try, you will go dry." For Swami, there was no word. He hated the word. There was no try in his dictionary. If anyone told try, he was really mad at them. I was like, no try. So my appeal to all of you and appeal to myself is, whenever you get any insight, okay, whatever, you may not out of, like, you may not get an insight now. You may get an insight while you're walking, while you're having lunch, while you're having a conversation. Write that insight down and immediately put it into practice, like what Swami said. Then only the retreat will start making sense to you. Otherwise, it will be just another session. Yeah, we're talking about Swami, it was beautiful, you're energized. After some time, yeah, within a few weeks, it just actually dies down. Okay? So if I look at H3O, I'm just trying to look at one of my insights of what I have seen with Bhagwan is the head. Okay, I'm not giving the formula away still. Okay, the head, and it may not be in the formula, but I'm just telling my interpretation of H3O is head. Is what was Swami like? What was going on in his head compared to what happens to ordinary people? What happens in their head? Right? Like, for example, we have 60,000 thoughts, they say, in a day. And the tragedy of it is we get the same 60,000 thoughts every day. Right? We don't get different 60,000 thoughts. Otherwise, we would have been great inventors. Right? We get the same 60,000 thoughts. Oh my God, I'm in trouble. Oh, I have to go there. I have to do this. I have to go to shopping. And the same thing keeps happening Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we are all over the head. We are walking down the street. Everyone is in their head. Oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do that. Okay, for children, okay, I have to do. Children is beautiful, right? They don't care. They just go to school in the moment. They are there and they come back. I asked my son, who's 6 years old, what happened to school? He said, I don't know. I said, wow, I wish my life was like that. Okay, so Swami was like that. He was in the moment. He was that thoughtlessness in thought. Right? When he was with you, he was like 100% with you, like a child. And like next moment, he's with someone 100%. Whereas for us, okay, I'm in a meeting and I'm thinking, okay, I have my next meeting, I have my next deadline, I have my next this thing. And how do we get into that consciousness what Swami was? We are all about our ego. Our ego is, okay, it's about me. Whereas Swami's thought was always, okay, how can I serve him? How can I serve that devotee? How can I serve that child? Maybe I'll build a college for him. How can I serve that patient. Maybe I'll build a super specialty hospital for him. It was all about serving. His questions, his minds were, okay, how can I serve him? And my questions was, okay, how can I gain out of this? Okay, how can I go there? That's the thing I like. I'm going there. How can I go there? That's the thing. And his mindset was different than our mindset. His mindset was always about, okay, how can I go and serve that guy, this person, that person? It was all about that. That's what great leaders are all about. They're always about others, right? I'm also giving sort of a relationship seminar as well. If those people who are really searching out for a partner, one of the advices which I got was, see what is your partner's interest more than your interest, and then all the partners will come to you, right? If you start thinking that, okay, what is in it for me, and you will get repelled by everyone. I want this, and that is why the world was attracted by Swami, because he was all the time about, okay, about how can I help you, how can I help you, how can I do this to you, how can I serve you, how can I make you happy. That is the best advice for relationships. Relationships go away nowadays because everyone thinks about the other, not the other, about themselves. And that is why it actually splits, right? Once you start thinking, okay, how can I serve you? How can I serve my partner? How can I serve my family? Then everyone starts looking at you, how can I serve it? And it becomes so beautiful. And that was what Swami was all about. And for us, whereas we I wouldn't say ordinary people, we all are divine spirits, right? And our mind comes in between, right? And for us, what happens is we are in the ego. And one day I asked Swami in an interview, with a class interview, with a group interview, I asked Swami, what's the difference between ego and self-respect? And Swami, in a most beautiful way, said, ego is about the external eye, and self-respect is about your inner eye. And I was 18 years old, and I didn't understand what it was. And I was like totally not sure what Swami meant, and I thought, okay, maybe Swami spoke to me, and I wrote it down, Swami spoke to me, and I was very happy. It took me 20 years to understand what that meant. It was when you identify, the interpretation I got from my experiences in life was, when you identify yourself with the external eye, that is the body, that is the limited body, then you are under the control of the limitless, or the limitedness of your mind, the limitedness of your body. Then you will go through the pain and pleasure, you will go through the anxiety, you will go through everything. You will think, okay, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, it's terrible, or it's raining, the weather is horrible, and you'll have all those excuses which you have for a body. Whereas self-respect is when you identify yourself with the divinity within you, when you think that you are not the body, when you think you are the divine spark, that's where the transformation happens. That's where everything changes. That's where anything is possible. That's where there's no question of try comes in. Imagine Rama going to Hanuman and says, can you jump the ocean? And Hanuman says, okay, I'll try, Lord. I'm not very sure, I don't have the experience, but maybe I could give it a try. Imagine Hanuman talking like that, okay? Swami was not like that. Swami was do. So just go for it. That was his thinking, because he was not in the head. Hanuman was never in his head, right? Thinking, okay, maybe I'm good enough, I'm not good enough. Swami wanted us to get out of that head and be in the heart. That yes, use your head for what it is supposed to use for, calculations, for your job, for everything. But for everything else, get out of your head, and then you just fly like Hanuman. You just operate like him. You just operate like Swami, having the biggest organizations of the world, the Sai organization in 180 countries with million people, and Swami is asking kids, hey, how many idlis did you have? How many dosas you had? Full of joy, full of bliss, not worried about, oh, tomorrow is other funds coming or not, right? That is what he wanted us. I'm short of time. I can go on and on and on, but I will leave it there. I'll put the question to all of you. It's all about, I'll end with, Swami had told someone, and then also in his speeches, he said, there's information and transformation. Information is all external, it's Google. It's there for him, he can help you for all that. But transformation happens when you ask yourself, who are you? Who am I? And get out of that head with those 60,000 thoughts and have that one thought. Have that one thought of Swami's name, have that one thought of who am I? Then the transformation happens. I'll leave you with a question. What is dear to Swami, which will give you that grace? Jai Sai Ram.